Hello, and welcome back to the Everyday English Podcast, the place where we turn real life into a language lesson. Today, we are going to talk about a word that I bet you use at least 5 times a day, maybe 10 times a day. And honestly, you might be using it too much. That word is sorry. We see so many English learners who are polite, kind, and wonderful people, and they want to show respect, so they say sorry for everything. They say sorry when they are late. They say sorry when they don't understand. They say sorry when the internet connection is bad. They even say sorry when someone else bumps into them. That is exactly right. It is a very common habit, and it comes from a good place. You want to be polite. You want to show that you are a nice person. But here is the problem, specifically when we are talking about your career. If you are constantly apologizing at work, you can accidentally make yourself look smaller, less confident, and less professional. In a romantic relationship, which you might have studied in other videos, being vulnerable and soft is a good thing. But in a business meeting or in an email to your boss, over-apologizing can actually damage your reputation. So today, we are going to fix that. We are not telling you to be rude. We are not telling you to be arrogant. We are teaching you a technique called the power pivot. This is a way to take a situation where you would normally say sorry and flip it around to sound confident and professional. We are going to look at 3 specific scenarios: being late or delayed, not understanding something, and actually making a mistake. By the end of this episode, you will have a whole new toolkit of phrases that make you sound like a leader, not just a learner. I love the sound of that, the power pivot. It sounds like a dance move, but it is actually a communication strategy. Let's start with the mindset shift, because before we learn the phrases, we have to understand the psychology. When you say, "I am sorry," you are focusing on yourself and your error. You are essentially saying, "Look at me. Look at my mistake. Please forgive me." You are putting a burden on the other person to comfort you. They have to say, "Oh, it's okay, don't worry about it." It is actually a little bit exhausting for them. That is such a good point. I think we often forget that. An apology demands a response. If I say sorry to you, you feel socially obligated to make me feel better. But at work, your boss doesn't want to spend time making you feel better. Your clients don't want to comfort you. They want results. So the power pivot is about taking that spotlight off of your mistake and shining it onto the other person's patience or flexibility. You move from asking for forgiveness to expressing gratitude. You change the vibe from negative to positive. Let's look at the most common scenario. I think this happens to everyone. You are running late for a meeting. Maybe it's just 5 minutes. Maybe technical issues kept you from logging into the Zoom call on time. You finally join the meeting. You are sweaty, you are stressed, and the first thing you shout is, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I'm late." I can feel the stress just hearing you say that. When you start a meeting like that, you are starting on your back foot. You are starting in a deficit. Everyone is looking at you as the person who is late. You have reminded them that you messed up, and you sound frantic. So let's apply the power pivot. Instead of focusing on your lateness, focus on their waiting. What is the phrase we use here? The phrase is, "Thank you for waiting," or if you want to be even more specific, "Thank you for your patience." Listen to the difference. "I'm so sorry I'm late" versus "Thank you for waiting." The first one is about me being bad. The second one is about you being generous. It is a subtle shift, but it makes you sound so much more in control. You walk in, you sit down, you say, "Thank you for waiting, everyone. Shall we begin?" And you move on. You don't dwell on it. This applies to emails too, right? This is a classic mistake I see in writing. Let's say you owe someone a document. You said you would send it on Tuesday, but now it's Thursday. You finally attach the file and hit send. Most learners write, "So sorry for the delay," or "Sorry this took so long." Again, you are highlighting the negative. You are drawing a red circle around the fact that you were slow. Exactly. In an email, the power pivot looks like this: "Thanks for your patience with this," or "Thank you for bearing with me." I love that phrasal verb, "bear with me." It means to be patient while someone deals with a difficulty. So you attach the file and you write, "Hi everyone, thanks for your patience. Here is the report." It implies that you are busy, you are professional, and you appreciate that they are a good team player. It protects your status. Now, I want to add a little nuance here, because I know some of our listeners are thinking, wait a minute, if I am an hour late, or if I missed the meeting entirely, is thank you still enough? That is a great question. If you have massively inconvenienced someone, you probably do need to acknowledge it more seriously. The power pivot is for those everyday bumps in the road, being 5 minutes late, having a tech glitch, taking 2 days to reply to an email. If you simply forgot a meeting and left a client waiting for an hour, you need to apologize. But even then, you can pivot quickly. You can say, "Please accept my apologies for the mix-up. Thank you so much for sticking around." You still want to end on that gratitude note. That is a really important distinction. We are not telling you to be a robot who never admits a fault. We are telling you to stop over-apologizing for simply existing and doing your job. Let's move to the second scenario, which I think is even more common for language learners. This is the pain of not understanding. You are in a meeting, someone is speaking very fast, maybe they are using slang, and you get lost. You panic. You want to ask them to repeat it, so you say, "I am sorry, I don't understand." Or, "Sorry, my English is not good." Oh, that one breaks my heart. Please never say, "Sorry, my English is not good" in a business meeting. You were hired for a reason. You have the skills. When you apologize for your English, you are telling everyone in the room to view you as a student, not as a professional. You are highlighting your insecurity. And saying, "Sorry, I don't understand," can sometimes sound like you weren't listening, or that you are just confused in general. It doesn't give the speaker any direction on how to help you. So how do we pivot this one? We need to turn a lack of understanding into a proactive request for clarification. Instead of apologizing for not knowing, you thank them for the information and ask a smart question. So instead of, "Sorry, I don't understand," try saying, "Could you clarify that last point?" Or, "I want to make sure I'm on the same page. Could you run through those numbers again?" I love that. Could you clarify that last point? It sounds like you are really engaged. It sounds like you are analyzing what they said and you want to be precise. It's a power move. You are not lost. You are just being thorough. Another great phrase is, "Could you elaborate on that?" To elaborate means to explain more or give more detail. So if someone says something and you didn't catch it, don't say sorry. Say, "That is an interesting point. Could you elaborate on how that affects the timeline?" Notice what is happening here. You are putting the work back on them, but in a complimentary way. You are asking for their expertise. You are not apologizing for your lack of hearing. You are showing that you are interested in their ideas. This is also a great listening strategy because it forces them to slow down and use different words, which might help you understand better. And you never once had to lower your status by saying sorry. There's another variation of this that happens when you think someone else is wrong, or when you have a conflicting opinion. Learners often say, "Sorry, but I disagree," or "Sorry, but I think that is wrong." Why do we feel the need to apologize for having a different opinion? In many cultures, disagreement is seen as rude, so we soften it with sorry. But in English-speaking business culture, especially in the US and UK, reasoned debate is often respected. You don't need to apologize for thinking. Right. If you say, "Sorry, but I think we should do option B," you sound hesitant. You sound like you are asking for permission to speak. Try the power pivot here too. Instead of sorry, use a bridge phrase that acknowledges their point and then introduces yours. For example, "I see where you are coming from. However, I think option B is safer." Or, "That is a valid point. On the other hand, we need to consider the budget." "I see where you are coming from." That is such a useful phrase. It validates the other person. It says, "I am listening, I respect your logic, but I am going to pivot to my own idea now." It's polite, but it's firm. It's assertive. And that is the key word for today, assertive. Not aggressive, not passive, but assertive. Now, before we move to the big one, actual mistakes, I want to touch on a tiny word that acts like a virus in your sentences. It's the word just, J-U-S-T. I see this all the time in emails. "I just wanted to check in." "I just thought I would ask." "I'm just writing to say." When you add just to your sentences, you are minimizing yourself. You are trying to take up less space. It's a form of apologizing without saying the word sorry. It's like you are saying, "Please don't be mad at me for sending this email. I'm just a little tiny person." If you delete the word just, your sentence instantly becomes stronger. Compare these two. "I just wanted to ask if the report is ready," versus, "Is the report ready?" Or, "I am writing to check on the report status." The second version commands respect. The first version sounds like you are begging. So here's a mini challenge for our listeners.
Search your emails for the word just and see if you can delete it. I bet 90% of the time the sentence is better without it.
That is a fantastic tip. It is such a small change, but it changes the whole tone of your voice. Okay, let's talk about the hard stuff. Scenario 3. You actually made a mistake, a real one. You deleted the wrong file. You gave the client the wrong price. You missed a deadline that caused a problem. In this situation, the power pivot of saying thank you isn't enough. If you delete the company database and say thanks for your patience, you are going to get fired. You need to apologize, but there is a right way and a wrong way to do it. The wrong way is the emotional dump. This is when you bring your personal feelings into the professional space. It sounds like this. Oh no, I am so stupid. I can't believe I did that. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I feel terrible. When you do this, you are forcing your boss to deal with your emotions. They have to calm you down. They have to say, hey, breathe, it is okay. You don't want your boss to be your therapist. You want your boss to see you as a problem solver. Exactly. A professional apology has a formula. It has 3 parts. Part 1, acknowledge the error clearly and briefly. Part 2, state the impact or that you understand why it matters. Part 3, the solution or the fix. And you do it all with a calm voice. You don't whine, you state facts. Let's roleplay this. Let's say I sent the wrong invoice to a client. I realized it this morning. If I panic, I sent an email saying, I am so sorry, I messed up the invoice, I hope they aren't mad. That is weak. Now, let's try the professional version. First, the acknowledgement. I realized I sent the incorrect invoice to the client. Note the grammar. I realized. Past simple. It is a fact, it happened. I am owning it. Then the solution. This is where you switch tenses. You often use the present perfect because it connects the past action to the present result. I have already drafted the correct version, or I have contacted the finance team to fix it. And then the future action. I will send the new one immediately. So the whole apology sounds like this. Hi Mark, I realized I sent the incorrect invoice this morning. I have already prepared the correct version and will send it to the client right now. I have also updated our checklist so this doesn't happen again. Apologies for the confusion. Did you hear that? Sarah said apologies for the confusion at the very end. She didn't start with it. She started with the facts and the solution. The apology was just a polite closer, a wrapper. The meat of the message was, I fixed it. This is what makes a manager trust you. Everyone makes mistakes. Leaders fix them. Followers just apologize for them. And notice the vocabulary choice. Apologies is a noun. Saying my apologies or please accept my apologies is slightly more formal and detached than saying I am sorry. I am sorry is an adjective describing your feelings. Apologies is a noun describing a social transaction. In business, the noun form often feels a bit more professional. It takes the personal emotion out of it just enough to keep things running smoothly. So, let's recap the formula for the big mistake. State the error clearly, state the fix immediately, and close with a brief professional sign-off. Do not dwell on how bad you feel. Your boss doesn't care about your guilt. They care about the solution. And if you can say, I have updated the process so this doesn't happen again, that is the gold standard. That turns a mistake into an improvement. That is how you get promoted. We have covered a lot of ground today. We talked about replacing sorry I'm late with thank you for waiting. We talked about replacing sorry I don't understand with could you clarify? And we talked about replacing the emotional I am so stupid with the factual I have fixed the error. These are small changes in words, but they represent a huge change in mindset. It really comes down to how you see yourself. If you see yourself as a burden, you will always be apologizing. If you see yourself as a valuable contributor who sometimes encounters delays or needs clarification, you will speak with gratitude and confidence. The power pivot is about owning your space. You belong in that meeting. You belong in that email thread. You don't need to apologize for being there. Now, we have a little homework for you. We want you to take this out of the podcast and into your real life. I want you to open your email right now. Go to your sent folder. In the search bar, type the word sorry. Just see how many times it comes up in the last week. Read through them. This is always a shocking exercise. You might find emails where you said, sorry to bother you, but do you have a minute? Or sorry, just following up on this. Look at those emails and mentally rewrite them using the power pivot. Change sorry to bother you into thank you for your time. Change sorry just following up into I am checking in on the status of this. If you are feeling brave, I want you to actually write your rewrite in the comment section or in your own notebook. Write the before version and the after version. Seeing it written down helps lock it into your brain.
And the next time you are typing an email and your fingers automatically go to type SORRY, stop, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, can I thank them instead?
Before we go, I want to remind you that building fluency isn't just about grammar rules and vocabulary lists. It is about understanding the culture of the language. In English-speaking workplaces, confidence is a currency. When you speak with confidence, people listen. When you constantly apologize, people tune out. By using the power pivot, you are not just improving your English, you are improving your career. You are training yourself to think like a leader. And remember, this takes practice. You will slip up, you will say sorry when you don't mean to. That is okay. Don't apologize to yourself for making a mistake. Just notice it, smile, and try the power pivot next time. It is a muscle, and the more you use it, the stronger it gets. If you found this helpful and you want to keep building your professional English skills, make sure you are subscribed to the Everyday English podcast. We have so many more episodes coming up that tackle these tricky, real-life situations, from how to disagree without being rude to how to make small talk that actually feels natural. We are here to help you live your life in English, not just study it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your time today. See what I did there? I didn't say sorry for taking your time. I said thank you for giving it. Exactly. We appreciate you. Go out there, stand tall, stop apologizing for your existence, and start pivoting to gratitude. You've got this. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.